Toxic shock syndrome explained. In 2012, model Lauren Wasser lost part of her right leg to a rare but potentially life-threatening condition, which she claims came courtesy of her tampon. Toxic shock syndrome is typically associated with menstruating women and is caused by toxins from the Staphylococcus aureus bacteria. TSS is linked with tampon use since the synthetic fibers and high absorbency provide the ideal breeding ground for the bacteria. Symptoms include gastrointestinal distress, a sudden high fever, low blood pressure, a sunburn-like rash, and redness of the eyes, mouth, and throat. Toxic shock progresses rapidly and can lead to kidney failure. Though fatal, it is treatable with antibiotics and fluids if diagnosed early. Another variety of the syndrome is caused by group A streptococcus bacteria, with those having cuts or burns or having had recent surgery especially at risk. Toxic shock syndrome is rare enough that there is little information on how to prevent the onset of the disease. For now, the best way is to clean any injuries and frequently replace tampons. Being a girl is tough. Poor girl. Most schools have no problem with 11-year-olds in sleeveless outfits, but in Billings, Montana, shoulders are apparently considered scandalous. One little girl learned this the hard way when she showed up for a picture day in a cute new sleeveless dress over black leggings, and promptly got policed for violating the dress code. Seems the ultra-conservative school board came up with the ridiculous policy of banning bare shoulders. The school even reportedly said the child's shoulders were distracting. Seriously? If a person gets offended by an 11-year-old's shoulders, they're the problem. The girl's family was so outraged by the asinine rule that both mom and grandma took to social media to rant. Miffed netizens soon began to chime in, criticizing the school and its dress code for sexualizing young girls. Ultimately, the school did allow the poor student to take her photo in the dress, but forced her to change into something more appropriate for the rest of the day. The girl has since been understandably upset, but the administration refuses to discuss the issue further, noting that since the child changed her clothes, the case is closed.
Female chess players protest hijab tournament requirement. The World Chess Federation has announced that the 2017 World Championships will be held in Iran, and all female players will be required to wear hijabs. The organization has urged players to respect cultural differences and wear the hijabs. 47-year-old Susan Polgar, a former child chess prodigy and Olympic and world champion, took to Twitter advocating cultural sensitivity and in many ways urged the wearing of hijabs. But 22-year-old Nasi Paikasher, the holder of 2 FIDE titles, is opposed to wearing a hijab. Paikasher incited a Twitter war, saying wearing hijabs supports the oppression of women. Since the Islamic Revolution of 1979, hijabs have been mandatory for women in Iran. The strict law is enforced by the country's morality police. Any woman found not wearing one in public faces arrest, a fine, or public admonishment. Since speaking out, Paikasher has received tremendous support from the chess community and people of Iran. So take that, FIDE!
Are yoga mats hurting your chances of getting pregnant? Researchers at Harvard University have found a potential link between products that contain certain chemicals and infertility in women. Among the products in which scientists discovered this link are yoga mats. Organophosphate flame retardants, otherwise known as PFRs, can be found in products that use polyurethane foam, such as car seats, sofas, and yoga mats. These PFRs can be absorbed by the body through physical contact, and they also migrate out of objects into the air. Researchers analyzed urine samples from 211 women and found that more than 80% of its participants had traces of PFRs in their systems. Women with higher concentrations of the chemicals are said to be 40% less likely to become pregnant or to have a live birth compared to those with lower concentrations of the chemicals. Flame retardant penta-BDE was phased out more than a decade ago after it was found to cause negative health effects. PFRs were introduced as a safer alternative. However, these latest studies have shown that the supposedly safer flame retardant may still cause hormone disruption.